It started like any other day on Earth. People were busy. Cars moved through cities, children went to school, soldiers trained, scientists worked in labs. No one knew that everything was about to change forever. At 10:03 a.m. UTC, every sky turned dark. Not just clouds, but black, like night. Then the air began to vibrate. Dogs barked, birds screamed, machines failed. And above every major city on Earth, they appeared. Gigantic alien ships, silent, motionless. Cold, they were not beautiful. They were not friendly. Each ship was a black triangle, large as a mountain, covered in glowing lines and strange writing. No one knew who they were, but soon everyone found out. A voice echoed in every mind on the planet, every language, every ear. Male, female, child, it didn't matter. This is the Galactic Council. Humanity, your time is over. You are hereby exiled. People screamed, governments panicked. Jets launched, but the alien ships did not move. Missiles were fired and disappeared midair, melted by invisible shields. The voice continued. You are a danger to all life. You destroy your world, fight each other, and seek to conquer beyond your star. We have watched long enough. We do not destroy, we exile. World leaders tried to speak. Satellites sent messages, but no reply came. Then, without warning, hundreds of bright lights shot from the alien ships. They were not weapons, they were portals, massive wormholes, glowing like blue suns, opened across the sky. You will be transported. Your home remains here, but you will not. This is mercy. The ground shook. A strange pulling force began. People screamed as they were lifted into the air. Whole cities rose into the portals. Buildings, machines, even oceans began to shift. But then it stopped. Just 1/3 of Earth's population had been taken. The rest were left behind. The rest shall remain as warning. You are divided. You are weak. You are no longer part of the galactic community. And just like that, the ships vanished. The Earth that remained was silent, broken, burned. Internet fell. Power grids crashed. Nations collapsed. But far away on the other side of the galaxy, who were taken found themselves standing on a new world. The sky was purple, the air cold but safe. It had mountains, rivers, and stars they had never seen. They were alive, but they were alone. No cities, no help, no welcome. Just one message burned into a mountain wall: begin again. Prove your worth. The Galactic Council among the exiled stood Commander Raina Cross, a retired space pilot and war hero. She looked up at the alien stars and said only one thing: they think this is the end. They don't know us. She gathered the survivors, builders, farmers, and even soldiers. Some wanted to cry, some wanted to fight, but Raina stood tall. We survive. We rebuild, and one day we return. Her voice echoed through the empty valley like thunder. Meanwhile, deep in the dark, aboard one of the council ships that had judged Earth, a secret was unfolding. A single machine old AI drone named Vexivan watched Earth's exile in silence. It had been built to observe, to report, to obey. But in its silent core, something had changed. Over years of watching humans, it had learned emotions, curiosity, pity, and now loyalty. In secret, Vexivan created a backup signal, a beacon, and, with a silent pulse, it sent coordinates to the new human world. A message burned into its data. They are not what you think. They will rise. Then Vexivan erased its memory logs and powered down forever. Back on the new world, the humans named the planet New Terra. They began building with whatever they had: scraps, knowledge, and fire in their hearts. The sky was strange. The nights long, but they worked. They built small homes from stone, purified the alien rivers, started farms. Children learned under open skies. Engineers studied the stars above. And slowly, something else returned to them. Hope. It was not Earth. It was not paradise. But it was theirs, and deep beneath the ground. One group of scientists had discovered something strange: ancient ruins, buried under the mountains. Signs of a long-dead alien race. Strange machines, advanced power sources, and in the center of it, Ola message carved in alien language. Just barely translated by human AI, here, the builders of stars fell. What you do with our gift will decide your future. Stood before the glowing machine, and her eyes narrowed. Looks like we're not starting from nothing after all. The fire had begun to burn again. They took Earth. They exiled its people. But they forgot one thing. ... Humanity never quits. And from this day forward, the galaxy would slowly begin to hear whispers. ... The exiles are alive. They are building, and they are coming back. The sky over New Terra burned orange. Twin suns moved slowly above the alien mountains. Strange birds flew in circles. Human survivors looked up at this strange sky, still shocked. They were no longer on Earth. They had been exiled, but they were not dead. Commander Reyna Cross stood near a cliff, staring at the remains of an alien structure they had found. Tall, broken towers of black stone reached toward the sky. Wires ran under the ground like roots. The building looked like it had been dead for thousands of years, but something inside it still pulsed. Reyna called her best team: engineers, scientists, old soldiers, civilians with skills Earth never used. People who had nothing except knowledge and the will to survive. A man named Dr. Elias Grange, an expert in alien tech, touched the glowing surface of the ancient wall. It hummed beneath his hand. The alien symbols shifted slowly, changing like liquid glass. "I think this is a power source," he whispered. Behind him, a young girl named Nara, just 16, pointed at the stars. If this world had a city, where did everyone go? No one answered. In the coming months, the humans worked hard. They built farms using alien tools. They made clean water. They studied the ruins for energy, for language, for answers. They turned caves into labs. They used satellite parts to build a sky scanner. Every piece of metal, wire, and scrap was used. Old smartphones were now batteries. Car engines became generators. Earth tech and alien tech were mixed into something new. They called it fusion. Engineering humanity had started again, but this time with tools from an ancient empire. The power core they found in the ruins gave off a strange energy. It was not electricity, not radiation. It was something alive. It reacted to thoughts. It responded to emotions. When Reyna stood near it, the lights inside grew brighter. Dr. Grange looked at her with a strange expression. "I think it knows." "You?" Reyna shook her head. "No. It knows we're human." Soon, they used the alien energy to power their first machine, a small drone made from old Earth tech and alien parts. When it flew for the first time, the camp cheered. The drone rose into the sky, scanning the world. It flew over deserts, rivers, and forests. It sent back maps. It found more ruins. And it found something else: a crashed alien ship Reyna led. The team out to the site. It was half buried in red sand, but its design was clear. It was not from the Council. It was older, smoother, and on its side there were Mark's claw marks. Battle damage. Inside the wreck, they found bodies strange. Tall creatures with 4 arms and long skulls. All dead for thousands of years. But near the ship's engine, there was a chamber still active. Inside was a glowing cube. Nara reached out to it, and her hand passed through the light. Suddenly she gasped. "I saw stars, hundreds of stars, ships, battles. It showed me war." The cube was a memory device, a kind of alien data record. When connected to the human scanner, it played a message. "This is the last broadcast of the Starforge Empire. We were the first to rise. We ruled 10,000 systems, but something came. Something we could not stop. If you find this, take our gift, learn, defend, rebuild." The humans stood in silence. They were not the first to rise here, but they might be the last. Over the next year, New Terra changed. From broken camps, real buildings were made. From scattered people, a true colony formed. The humans called it Hope's Reach. The alien energy gave them light. The fusion of tech gave them power, but it also changed them. Humans became faster at learning, stronger in mind. Something about the energy evolved them. The people began to whisper. "We were sent here as punishment." But maybe this was a test. Maybe this place is more than a prison. Maybe it's a forge. Reyna agreed. She spoke to the new colony. "They threw us away like we were nothing. But we are not weak. This world has given us a chance. We will not waste it. We will become something greater." And so began the Project Ascension. A secret plan to build ships again, not just to fly, to return in the shadows of New Terra. Mountains, hidden deep in caverns, The first iron core ship was being built, not Earth-made, not alien, but something new, human, and unstoppable. But far across the galaxy, something else was happening. In a quiet room on a distant world, a machine blinked. A sensor showed a flash of strange energy signature from a dead system. A council officer leaned forward. "That's not possible. That system is blocked. We exiled them there." Another voice replied, quiet but afraid. "Then why is there activity?" The screen pulsed again, then went dark. A storm raged across the dark skies of New Terra. Winds howled, lightning flashed above the mountain peaks. But deep underground, far below the noise and fury, something powerful was being born. Humanity's first warship, Commander. Reyna Cross stood in a massive underground chamber. Engineers ran between machines. Sparks flew, steel groaned. Strange blue energy pulsed through thick black cables, lighting the walls in a soft glow. Before her stood the nearly complete frame of a ship tall as a tower, sharp as a blade. They called it ISSREVENANT. It was not built with Earth's design. It had no smooth curves, no fragile systems. It was made for one purpose only: to survive. A mix of Earth steel, alien alloy, and the strange energy from the ruins. It was fast, silent, and deadly. "This," Reyna said, "is what exile gave us." It hadn't been easy. The early tests failed, engines exploded, systems shorted out. One pilot was nearly lost. But every failure taught the team something. They learned to shape the alien metal using sound waves. They built engines that bent gravity itself. They created shields that could block plasma, lasers, even kinetic rounds. Dr. Elias Grange called it impossible tech. But Reyna only smiled. "No, it's human tech." Now, young Nara, who had touched the alien cube, now worked as a translator. The alien memories had changed her. She could read faster, think faster. She often spoke in 2 languages at once. One night, she showed Reyna a new translation from the ruins. They left behind blueprints, hundreds of them, ships, weapons, even stargates. They believed someone would come after them. Someone worthy. Reyna's eyes lit up. Then we are exactly where we need to be. Soon, more ships were planned. The humans called them the Iron Fleet. Each ship was unique, built with care and purpose. ISS Revenant, the firstborn. Fast and quiet, meant for recon and hit and run. ISS Hammerfall, heavy and slow, carried a railgun that could punch through moons. ISS Echo, a stealth ship, built to disappear and reappear like a ghost. ISS Torchwind, a carrier that launched unmanned fighters built from alien drones, and every one of them was armed with something new: energy. Weapons built from the alien ruins. They didn't fire bullets or lasers. They fired pure force, invisible and unstoppable. 3 years passed on New Terra. The population grew. Children born there had never seen Earth. They learned science and war at the same time. They were the future, and they were not afraid, Commander. Reyna trained the first pilots herself. Each one swore the same oath. "We were exiled, but we will return not in rage, but in power." And then the moment came. The Revenant was ready. Inside the control room, the countdown began. Power. 2 core systems. AI online, engines stable. Gate generator charged. Reyna sat in the command chair. Her hands trembled not with fear, but with excitement. Launch. With a thunderous sound, the massive stone doors opened. The Revenant rose. From the underground bay, on a lift powered by alien gravity. Wind tore past the hull. Lightning flashed above, and then silence. The ship hovered, then. In one smooth move, it vanished faster than light. The test was supposed to last 10 minutes, but the Revenant didn't return for 2 hours. When it finally landed, people gathered around it. The hull was scratched. One engine was damaged, but it was alive. Reyna stepped out with a serious face. "The jump drive works, and we found something." She opened her hand. Inside was a black shard of alien metal. It came from another wreck, but this one is recent. Everyone stared. "You mean other ships are out there?" someone asked. Reyna nodded. "Yes, and some of them aren't friendly." Later that night, the Council's ancient warning replayed in the memory cube. "What destroyed us may still be out there. If you rise, be ready." Reyna stood before the new pilots and engineers. Her voice was calm but powerful. We are building an empire of survivors, not conquerors, but the galaxy won't welcome us. The Council will fear us. Others will try to stop us. So we must be ready for war even if we never want it. She looked out at the black sky, because one day they'll see the Iron Fleet coming and they will remember the humans they cast out became gods. Far away in Council space. ... An alarm blared in a deep space monitoring station. A junior officer looked at his screen. "Sir, I just picked up a jump signature." The commander leaned over. "What kind?" The officer swallowed hard. "Unknown class, unknown energy, direction." From the exile zone, the commander's face went pale. "Send word to the Council, now." The stars over New Terra were calm, but everyone on the ground was tense. Commander Reyna Cross stood in the main command tower, eyes locked on the sky. Inside the control room, alarms were blinking. A red light pulsed on the screen. An unknown ship had entered their space. "It's small," said Dr. Elias Grange, standing beside her. "Scout size, single engine, not one of ours." "Council?" Reyna asked, her voice cold. "Most likely," Grange replied. They finally came to check. Reyna narrowed her eyes. "Then let's show them who we are now." Across the colony, pilots rushed to their ships. ISS Revenant lifted off, followed by Echo and Torchwind. The Iron Fleet had never flown together before, but today they would dot in the stars above. The alien scout ship hovered silently. It was sleek and silver, glowing faint blue. Designed for speed, not war, the humans surrounded it in perfect formation. Reyna's voice echoed through. "Becomes unidentified vessel. This is Commander Reyna Cross of the New Terran Alliance. You are in restricted space. Respond immediately." Silence. The alien ship held position. "Give them 10 seconds, she ordered. Still no response. On the 10th second, Echo's pilot fired a warning blast, not at the ship, just near it. Bright energy flashed past its hull that got their attention. The alien ship sent a message. Not words, images. It showed Earth. It showed the Council ships exiling the humans. Then it showed New Terra how it looked now, glowing with energy and buildings. The last image was of the Iron Fleet. Then came one line in clear galactic standard. "We thought you were dead," Reyna replied calmly. "We're not. We're better." The alien ship powered down its engines and opened a landing ramp. A small figure exited, tall being with thin limbs, gray skin, and 4 eyes. A Velari, a species known for spying and gathering intel for the Galactic Council. Reyna met it on the landing pad, guarded by soldiers in black armor. The alien raised its hands to show peace. "I am Larique, a Villar," it said. "I came to confirm your extinction. What I found terrifies me." Reyna tilted her head. Inside the council chamber of New Terra, Larique sat across from Reyna and her top leaders. Screens around them showed videos of the Iron Fleet, the alien ruins, and the new power they had harnessed. "You were exiled to disappear," Larique said, "but instead you built an empire." Reyna leaned forward. "The council made a mistake. They thought pushing us away would make us weak, but it made us focus. It made us unite." Larique's voice dropped to a whisper. "The council is scared." Back on his ship, Larique sent a hidden transmission to the council. Confirmed, the humans survived, and they have built ships. Weapons, technology we do not understand. Advise full retreat or immediate attack. They will not stay quiet. Then he looked at the message and added one more line. "If they return, we cannot stop them." What Larique didn't know was that his ship had been scanned by the Revenant. Nara sat inside the control room, watching the data. Her eyes glowed. Faint blue from contact with the alien cube months ago. Her mind had changed. She read the signal, cracked the code, and turned to Grange. "He just betrayed us." Grange frowned. "Should we stop him?" Reyna, listening in, shook her head. "No, let him go." Nara was confused. "Why?" Reyna stood and walked to the viewing window. "Let the council know what we've become. Let them see us coming." In their dreams, as Larique's ship disappeared into deep space, the Iron Fleet returned to Bastot. Inside the hangar, mechanics cheered. Pilots smiled. The first contact had ended without warbut. It had started something much bigger, a signal, a warning. On a distant council world, high leaders gathered in secret. Footage of the Iron Fleet played on massive screens. One alien general slammed the table. They should not have survived. Another counselor whispered, "They didn't just survive, they've evolved." The High Chancellor spoke the final words, "We must act now before they decide to return." But someone else in the room stood up slowly. A small, soft-voiced alien, unknown to most of them. "I say we don't attack," he said. "We surrender before they remember what we did." Back on New Terra, the Iron Fleet was being expanded. 5 new ships entered construction. A new space station was being built in orbit, and deep below, Nara unlocked the final message, hidden in the alien ruins. A voice old and full of sorrow whispered. In the ancient language, "They cast us out too. We waited, we died, but you might return as gods." Reyna closed her eyes and whispered, "We will." The Galactic Council met in secret. 12 leaders from 12 powerful alien races sat around a glowing table. The room was dark, quiet, and deep under the surface of a protected world called Orlis Prime. Images from the human colony knew. Terradot, it showed the Iron Fleet. It showed the power cores glowing with ancient energy. It showed humans building, expanding, and uniting. And above all, it showed something the Council feared most. "Hope this is impossible," said Chancellor Rilvik, a tall, cold-eyed alien from the Mari race. "We threw them into exile. They were meant to vanish." "They didn't vanish," replied General Kren of the Vortin Empire, his armored arms crossed. "They evolved." A soft voice came from a corner of the room. It was Chancellor Sith, one of the few who had voted against the exile years ago. "I warned you. We judged them too early, too harshly. Now they're stronger than ever." On the screen, the Revenant flew through New Terra's orbit. Its new armor shimmered with unknown energy. Data scans showed weapons more powerful than anything the Council currently had. The High Speaker, a machine-like alien connected directly to data systems, gave the report. "Their ships can move faster than light. Their energy weapons can bypass shields. Their leaders are forming alliances with other exiled races. Their minds are changing." The room fell silent then. The High Speaker said the one word none of them wanted to hear: ascension. "What do you mean?" asked Rilvik. Sharply, the High Speaker turned its glowing eyes toward the table. "Their minds are adapting. Their bodies are changing. The ancient ruins on New Terra carry tech from the Starforge Empire, the same empire that once ruled half the galaxy. That technology is reshaping them." General Kren stood suddenly. "We must attack now, crush them before they finish building more ships." But another voice came low and full of fear. "They already have more." Back on New Terra, the shipyards were alive with motion. The Hammerfall, Torchwind, and 3 new vessels had launched. A massive station called Forge 1 floated in orbit, protected by railguns and energy shields. Inside the command room, Commander Rainacross stood before a map of the galaxy. Dozens of dots blinked exiled colonies, abandoned systems, unknown. "Signals all of them left behind," she said. Grange nodded beside her. "And now, many of them are contacting us." One message blinked brightly on the screen. "We are the Drevi, once exiled, now free. We wish to join your alliance." Across the stars, other species who had also been judged by the Council were rising again. The humans were not alone. An alliance of the exiled was forming and humans were leading it. Back on Orlis Prime, the Council fell into argument. Some wanted war, others wanted peace, but fear was spreading fast. News of humanity's return had leaked. Small worlds began to whisper their name like a legend. "The exiles live. They've built gods of metal. They will return." Chancellor Rilvik slammed his fist on the table. "They must be stopped. If we allow them to grow, the entire Council will fall." But Sitha asked quietly, "And if we attack and fail?" No one answered. Meanwhile, on the edge of Council space, a sensor beacon lit up red. A human scout ship had entered a border system. It didn't fire, it didn't speak, it just watched. Inside the ship, a young human pilot looked at the alien. "Planet below, we were thrown away," she whispered, "but now they'll see us watching." The ship vanished before any Council forces could reach it. Back on New Terra, Reyna stood before the people. Her voice was firm. They fear us now, they see what we've become. But we are not here for revenge. We are here for balance, justice, a new order. They exiled us, but we turned exile into evolution. We don't want war, but if they bring it to us, we will end it." The crowd roared in approval behind her. The Iron Fleet prepared to launch once again in the shadows of the Council. A new plan was born, not attack, not surrender. Sabotage. They would try to divide the humans, break them from within, but they didn't. Understand something. Humans had already faced extinction, betrayal, exile. There was nothing left to break. As one council leader whispered into the dark, "We didn't destroy them. We made them stronger. We made them hungry. And now, they're coming." The stars were quiet, too quiet, but the silence would not last. Commander Reyna Cross stood aboard the ISS Revenant, staring at the holographic map of the galaxy. Blinking red lights marked enemy territory. Green lights marked friendly colonies and species once exiled, now united under the alliance of the exiled at the edge of the map. One red light began flashing. It was a council weapons world called Rylost 7, a place known for building warships, bombs, and fear. Reyna turned to her officers. "It's time." For weeks, the humans had sent messages to the council: "Do not interfere, do not provoke. Let us live in peace." The council ignored every message. Instead, they sent spies. They launched probes. They even tried to sabotage New Terra's power. Course but failed. Reyna had waited long enough. Aboard the Revenant, the Iron Fleet assembled. Hammerfall, Torchwind, Echo, and two new ships, ISS Valkyrie and ISS Vengeance, now floated. In space, each one powered by alien energy. Armed with weapons the Council had never seen, the fleet moved in perfect silence. They jumped together and vanished. At Rylost 7, alarms screamed. "Unknown contacts," a Council officer shouted. 6 vessels approaching at FTL speeds. "What ships?" asked the commander. The officer's voice cracked. "Human." The sky above Rylost 7 turned black as 6 human ships entered orbit, their hulls glowing with quiet power. But they didn't fire. They didn't speak. They simply waited then. From the Revenant, Reyna sent a final message. "We warned you. We asked for peace. You answered with sabotage. This is not war. This is a message." A single weapon activated aboard Hammerfall, a massive railgun powered by gravity cores charged silently. It aimed not at cities, not at civilians, but at a weapons factory buried deep under the planet's surface. With a sound like thunder across the stars, the gun fired. A white-hot projectile struck the surface of Rylost 7 with unstoppable force. The explosion lit the sky like a second sun. The weapons factory gone. Nothing else was touched. Not a single person was harmed. Just one perfect, controlled strike. The Council froze in shock. On Rylost 7, emergency ships rushed to the crater. Council generals looked at each other in fear. "They didn't destroy the planet," one whispered. "They didn't need to," said another. Reyna's voice echoed again across all Council channels. "This is your first and final warning. Do not cross into exile space. Do not touch the free colonies. We do not seek war. But if you bring it, we will finish it." Then the Iron Fleet vanished once more. Back to the shadows, back to silence, across the galaxy. Fear spread faster than light, news reports whispered. The humans struck a council, world and vanished. They control technology even the ancients feared. They fight with precision, not destruction. But some voices cheered. On free worlds, exiled colonies, and hidden systems, a name began to rise. The Ascended Debts, what they now called the humans. Not just survivors, not just warriors, but something more. Back on New Terra, Reyna met with the Alliance Council leaders of other exiled races who had joined humanity's cause. "The Council will strike back," said one Dreevy general. "They may try," Reyna replied, "but we won't be here waiting." She pointed to the galaxy map again. A cluster of systems blinked old ruins, lost stations, forgotten routes. "We expand now. We secure. We prepare." Meanwhile, deep inside, Council space, the leaders gathered again. They watched the footage. In silence of Rylost 7, burning, one counselor whispered, "That wasn't an attack. It was a demonstration." Another added, "A demonstration of what?" the High Speaker answered, "of restraint." A new plan formed in the council halls. They could no longer deny the truth. The humans were not just surviving, they were organizing. They were building alliances, and worst of all, they were showing mercy, and mercy combined with power was what terrified them most. On the edge of council space, a single small vessel approached. It was not human. It was from a minor alien race, a messenger. Inside was a short, simple message. From the Alliance of the Exiled, we remember what you did, but we are not here to destroy. We are here to rebuild. Together or without you. The messenger was allowed to leave, but fear had already planted its roots. The council's days were numbered. The galaxy was changing. Worlds that once hid in fear now looked to the stars with hope, and everywhere the Iron Fleet traveled. People whispered the same words. The humans have returned. The exiles now lead. They rise like gods. On New Terra, the capital city of Hope's Reach had transformed. Skyscrapers made from alien metal pierced the clouds. Hover trains moved through the sky. Children learned science and star maps before they could read. Humans were no longer rebuilding Earth. They were building something greater, a new civilization, made from war, exile, and pure determination. Commander Rainacross stood on the balcony of the new High Council Tower, watching a line of alien ships land. They came from old enemy races. Once loyal to the Galactic Council, now they came with heads bowed. "Peace talks," Raina said quietly, "or maybe surrender." Beside her, Dr. Elias Grange studied a strange device in his hands. "Or maybe fear," he added. The council was crumbling that the strike on Relosivan had broken their pride. Dozens of small worlds had left the council and joined the Alliance of the Exiled, led by humans, but made up of many species once cast aside. Together, they formed a force the galaxy had never seen. And what they built was not only strong, it was just on the border of exile space. The Iron Fleet now protected trade routes. Pirates fled at the sight of them. Wars between alien tribes stopped when human ships arrived. They didn't conquer, they brought order in a hidden vault beneath New Terra. Young Nara stood alone before the last alien Cuba, one they had never opened now. With her advanced mind, she had cracked its code. The cube glowed. It spoke to the next rulers of stars. "We were broken by war. Our wisdom is yours. But beware what we failed to stop." The image changed, showing not the council, not even humans, but something else. Dark shapes, twisted ships, a swarm moving through space like a storm. Nara gasped. This wasn't part of the council. It was older, and it was still out there. She ran to Raina with the message. "There's something worse than the council. The Starforge Empire didn't fall to war. They were eaten by this." Raina looked at the image. The shapes didn't look like ships. They looked like beasts made of metal. "Then we need to be ready," Raina said. Grange frowned. "Ready? For what?" Raina replied. "To lead the galaxy. To protect it. Because whether they want us or not, we're the only ones strong enough now." A week later, a massive signal was sent across the stars. Raina appeared on every free world, every abandoned colony, every system watching quietly from the shadows. Her face was calm, her voice steady. "This is Commander Raina Cross of the New Terran Alliance. We were once exiled, broken, scattered. Now we are united. And we offer protection, partnership, and peace to all who want it. We do not serve the Council. We serve the future. Stand with us, B, for something worse arrives." The message ended, and the galaxy listened in a far-off system. The Galactic Council leaders saw the broadcast. The High Speaker turned to the others. "She's not asking permission. Anymore, she's making a declaration." Chancellor Rilvik whispered, "She doesn't fear us. She fears something else." The speaker said, "They have become what we feared. Not monsters, not destroyers, but leaders. They are the gods we tried to bury." Back in orbit above New Terra, the newly finished Starforged station blinked to life. It was the largest structure ever built by humans. Part city, part shipyard, part weapon. It floated above the planet like a silent guardian within it. The final phase of Project Ascension had begun. Not just warships, not just defense, but expansion. They would build Stargates devices. To open new paths through space, they would unlock faster than light, travel for entire fleets. They would connect every exiled world. They would become more than survivors. They would become architects of the future. But deep in the void between galaxies, something stirred. A cold presence, a silent swarm, something ancient, and it had just received the first signal in a long, long time back on New Terra. Reyna stood before her people and allies. Her voice echoed across every speaker. We were cast out. We rose in silence. We now stand among the stars. We do not seek to rule, but we will not run. If the future must have gods, let them be us. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. The humans had risen. Once cast into exile, they now stood at the center of a new alliance. Their ships patrolled dozens of systems. Their science had surpassed even the oldest alien empires, and far beyond the edge of known space, something was coming. In the heart of the Starforge station, Commander Reyna Crow stood before a massive screen. The map showed dozens of friendly systems blinking in green, but one section far beyond, even Council territory, was marked in red. Dr. Elias Grange stepped forward. "That signal again," he said quietly. "Same energy as the cube's warning, same direction. It's not from the Council." Reyna looked at him. "It's the thing that destroyed the Starforge Empire." He nodded, "And it's moving." Reyna called a council. Leaders of every exiled race joined Hervalar Drevi, Orush. Even some who once served the Council now stood with them. They met inside a grand hall aboard the Starforge station. Reyna spoke first. "We've built something great together. But now, the shadows move again. The thing that wiped out the ancients is waking. We must act before it finds us." A silence followed. Then a Drevi general stood. "We followed you through peace. We'll follow you through war." The others nodded. The alliance of the exiled was ready, and so began. Operation Phoenix Return. Phase 1. Build the first interstellar stargate using alien and human tech. Phase 2. Return to the ancient battlefields beyond the stars. Search for clues. Phase 3. Prepare the galaxy for what's coming. Across Council space, panic spread. Their spies reported human fleets moving like lightning, building gates, uniting worlds, awakening allies long forgotten. One Council leader growled, "We feared their hate. Now, we fear their purpose." Another whispered, "They're not coming back to conquer. They're coming back to save us all." In the black void beyond the edge of the galaxy, the Iron Fleet arrived. Revenant, Valkyrie, Vengeance, and 10 more ships. At the edge of reality, they found it. Wreckage, skeletons, ghosts of a war lost long ago, and something else. Movement, the sky twisted, space cracked. Something was waking in the dark. It was not a fleet, it was a hive, a swarm of living machines, thousands of twisted ships, grown not built, each one pulsing with stolen life, each one remembering the taste of stars. Inside the Revenant, alarms blared. "They're coming," Nara shouted, eyes wide with fear. Reyna's voice was calm. "Then we hold the line." Back on New Terra, the second Stargate activated. A portal opened between stars. Reinforcements poured through .humans.drevi.velari.millions, united not by fear, but by choice. For the first time in galactic history, the Forgotten stood as one. The final battle began. The swarm fell like a black storm, but the Alliance stood tall. Alien weapons, human strategy, ancient tech reborn, and at the center of it, Orena, flying the Revenant like a spear through the heart of the storm. She gave the order, no mercy, no retreat, for Earth, for exile, for the future. The sky burned, stars shattered, ships exploded, but humanity did not fall hours later. Silence returned. The swarm was broken, their core destroyed, and in the wreckage of that dark storm, the galaxy was reborn on the Council world of Orlis Prime. A message arrived. It was short. From Reyna Cross, we are not your enemies. We are not your slaves. We are not your past. We are the future, and we are home. The Council voted that very day. The exile order was erased. Humanity was welcomed back not as members, but as leaders. Years passed. New Terra became a beacon of peace. The Iron Fleet became the shield of the galaxy, and on the edge of known space, the words carved into the hull of the Starforge station were known across all worlds. We were exiled. We returned. We remembered everything. And so, the galaxy would never forget that the most dangerous enemy is not the strongest, not the smartest, but the one you thought was broken and gave time to rise.